if you take a classroom and you say we're going to learn fractions, and we're going to go to so I go to the teacher as a chalkboard, and I go to the teacher as a chalkboard. Jeez, I go to the chalkboard as a teacher, and I write 1/2 is greater than 1/4. I'm going to lose a percentage of the class, because how can 2 be? Because 4 is a bigger number.
Right.
And then so therefore you're going to get a certain percentage failing and a certain percentage succeeding. And I go to the same class talking kinesthetically, and I give everyone an orange and a knife. And I say we're going to cut that orange in half, then in quarters.
Beautiful.
And you see how the half is larger than the quarter.
Yes.
It's very difficult in the traditional education, in government-funded education system, to that's why I try to draw the lines, because I find government-funded education is very different than privately funded, whether it be homeschool or independent. There's not the overreaching agendas and I often say my education is a byproduct of my indoctrination. You know, I happen to learn how to read while learning how to raise my hand and ask to go pee. Learning conformity, I actually learned other things. But if you put the actual learning process ahead, and then you recognize how the student learns, and the student, in the Spaulding method, we teach each student now, this is your kinesthetic learner. You learn by motion. Therefore, if you can learn how to spell the word team, we might get you to stand up and make the letter T. And then the letter E, and then the letter A, and you're going to remember that for life. And the other parts of the class that are more visual will then see team written on the board. They'll have it for life. But those that need to move through it will move through it. Those that need to talk through it will talk through it for the auditory learners.
And read-write is often one that's missed. There's actually 4. And some students need to read-write to make meaning. But the beauty of being in a classroom where you're honoring all the styles is you're now going to develop your visual as well.
Yes.
So we're not just one style. We're multimodal, and we have times where maybe to learn history, I might learn it better through listening to someone tell me a story, but normally I'm kinesthetic. So it's really building all of the different modes, because we are going to be lifelong learners. The students at the Spaulding Day School are going to learn forever. So let's teach students how they learn, how thinking about their thinking. And the other thing that I love is helping them understand, how do you move information from short-term to long-term memory. There are specific things that we do as teachers to help students encode information, attend to information that will move to long-term memory. And we do have to remember things, like that's part of school and that's part of life. So let's learn how our brain actually works and work with it.
And the honest truth is, I can't believe I remember having this thought when I got to grade 12. I'm finally finishing high school, going into college, whatever. And then I thought back, and because my post-secondary is a medical education. I did massage therapy and other things, and so it was very, very analytical, and I had to memorize every muscle, every bone, every nerve, every synapse, everything, origin, insertion, in a very short period of time. And I realized at that time, it's like, when was I ever taught how to learn? Shouldn't we spend all this time on reading, writing, and all these things that we got to memorize, but they never tell us how the brain works, how the short term, how your brain can only memorize 7 headings in an hour, only 7. But those 7 can tree out in a hierarchy of data that can give you a multitude. So we teach our grade 3, grade 2 kids how their brain works. And also you can teach that to them once, and every other course, and it goes deeper than that, obviously. But everything they learn from there, they're organizing their brain actively and not reactively. Rather than teaching just memorize, then if you can't get all these fact sheets in place, you're stupid.
Or take a textbook.